welcome to the third episode of the USA Powerlifting Podcast. We have some really exciting news to share today about the Pro Series, and I am joined by Executive Committee member Josh Rohr, who has played a big role in planning the Pro Series. It has been a lot of work. Josh, welcome, and thank you for coming today to share this exciting news and information everyone has been dying to have. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I think people are getting a little anxious / excited to get the details. So here we are.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when I heard we were giving away pro cards, I got really excited. The information we released at first about this pro series, there's a lot of uncertainty and doubt, of course, which is I think natural when someone does something new and in a big way like this. But when I found out we're giving out pro cards, I got really excited because I think that's something that people want to strive for. It gives them something else to go after, and to top it off, we're giving away a whole lot of money too, right?
Yep, yep. We have a total purse of about 235,000. That's
Wow.
spread out among our different pro meets, different ways to earn that. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, 235 grand. And like Larry said in our last podcast, our goal with the Pro Series is to be sustainable over time. Could we have thrown more money at it first? Probably. But, luckily we have great leadership here in the organization who thinks long term, who thinks about where we want to go. And that number, I promise you all, is just the beginning. And beyond that, though, the questions are, what is a pro card? How do I get one? What does it entitle me to? So that's what Josh is here to answer today. So to start off, Josh, let's define what a pro card is.
We have a pro card, which is for full powerlifting. We have a pro bench card, which is for bench only. And then we have a master's pro card, which is for master's full power. And then we have a master's bench pro card, which is for master's bench only. So those are the four categories of pro card that you can earn.
Awesome. And just so it's distinct and clear to everyone, there's like one top pro card, and that is the USA Powerlifting Pro Card. These others that we have for masters and for bench are to give these folks in these divisions a way to compete for their own dedicated pro card, if you will. But like the Buku, the Grand Poobah is our pro card for our open division, which is in line with how other organizations similar to us in the strength world do things. Pro card, if you will, is your key to your access to the Pro Series, which is where these big prize purses are, right?
Yep. And further breaking it down, I guess there's three series essentially encompassed in this. We have the teen junior kind of mini series. Basically, we're going to take the top 10 lifters from collegiate junior nationals from each division: male raw, male equipped, female equipped. The top 10 of each of those, so that's 40 lifters, and the top 4 from teenage nationals and high school nationals, for a total of 14 in each of those divisions. And they're going to get a primetime slot at our nationals in Vegas, and they get to compete for a pro card. So essentially the best lifter in each of those divisions earns their pro card through that junior mini series.
That's awesome. And, much of my time in powerlifting was as a junior. My fondest memories, as a junior, it's so exciting to be in this select group of people, wanting to fight and battle to be the best. So I'm glad we're giving them an avenue to do that. And then when they punch their ticket, they get to go compete in the big show, right?
Yep. So yeah, if you were one of those top lifters, you basically get your slot at nationals, the primetime slot, to compete for a pro card, which I think is what everybody's after right now. Everybody's chasing that. So that gives an avenue for our younger lifters to compete, to earn one of those through their other avenues.
For sure. So one question I have is, how long does this last? I think it's important that there's a period of time tied to it, but also not that they only last a few months, right? You want to give people something to fight for, and then time to defend it and continue pursuing that ideal pro level status.
Yeah. So when you earn your pro card in 2022, it will be good for 3 years. So it starts the year you earn it, and it expires 2 years after that. So it's good for 2022, 2023, and 2024. So it's a
Awesome.
three-year card.
And that gives them access to, sorry, it gives them the privilege of competing at the Pro Series for these big prize purses. And as they compete over that period of time, they can, of course, earn another one, and that time is extended, right?
Yep. Yeah. If you re-earn it, it basically just tacks a year on to your previous, or 2 years, depending when it expired, I guess. So if you earned it in 2022 and you earn it again in 2023, it just adds 1 year to your expiration date.
Awesome. So now let's talk about the one thing on everyone's mind is, how do you get a Pro Card? Let's talk about just the big Pro Card, the main Pro Series Pro Card. How does someone go out and earn that?
Okay. So great question. So there are a few different ways to earn your Pro Card. So for raw lifters, and we're talking full power here. So for raw lifters, if you are top 3 in your weight class at nationals, that's an automatic Pro Card. And one of the other ways is if you enter the Raw Challenge at the Arnold Sports Festival and you earn Best Lifter, that gets you a Pro Card. And that event's going to be open to non-Pro Card holders. Then we already mentioned the Junior Series Best Lifter gets a Pro Card. So the lifters that qualify for the Junior Series finals at nationals, the best lifter there gets a Pro Card. And then the additional Pro Cards, in addition to top 3 at nationals in the weight class, for the females, it's the next top 5 dot scores of everybody that did not place top 3. And for the men, it's the next 2 highest dot scores of everybody that didn't place top 3. And the reason for the difference there is because we do have a different number of weight classes. So, the automatic weight class top placers for men there's 36 Pro Cards. For women, there's only 33. So those wild card slots there's more for women than men, to make sure that we have an equal number of Pro Cards available to be earned each year for men and women.
That's awesome. And I think there's going to be people that have very intelligent ways to describe why that's good. Just from a high level, what I see is that wild card spot gives people in these super competitive classes a way to get their Pro Card as well, right? Like in the 105 kilo class, right? There's 6 people that could be really, by all definitions, the top of their game, but they're just not better than Ashton, right? But this gives us a way to reward those super strong people who are in those more competitive classes, right?
Yep, correct. And one thing I want to mention as well too. So let's just theoretically say that the top 3 in the 67.5 kilo weight class, the top 3 lifters there all already have their Pro Card. It doesn't get awarded to somebody else down the line. They just renew their Pro Card. Kind of what we said earlier. So it's very competitive, and it's very hard to earn these, and it's very hard to renew these, I guess. So it's going to be real interesting to watch some of those battles for top 3 at nationals.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. I didn't think of that. So, like, once these are snapped up this first year, we may not see any new pros for some time. And so it's going to be a battle to try to go and take that card from a pro who's been there a long time.
Yeah, so we'll see at least one, because the best lifter at the Arnold Raw Challenge is for non-Pro Card holders, and the best lifter earns one. So we'll at least see one new Pro Card holder every year.
I didn't consider that. That is really cool. Awesome. So let's talk a bit more about the other Pro Cards we have. So let's talk really quick about our Raw Bench and Equipped Bench versions of this Pro Card.
Okay. Before we touch on that, I do want to mention the Equipped Pro Card. I mean, it's still a Pro Card, but for the Equipped division, it's top 2 in the weight class. Women have 4 wild card spots, and then men, it's top 2 in the weight class with 2 wild card spots. Still the best lifter there's going to be a Pro-Am for equipped lifters at the Arnold Sports Festival. Best lifter of that one, again, can't be a pro to enter the amateur part of it. Best lifter gets a Pro Card, and then the best lifter from the Junior Series gets a Pro Card as well. So it's basically duplicated, just instead of top 3 like raw lifters, the equipped side, it's only top 2 in the weight class.
Okay.
The automatic Pro Cards.
How could I forget about the Equipped? I was just so excited.
I don't
Of course,
know.
I care about
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
that. That is my life. Those are my peoples. Please forgive me, everyone watching. I promise. I'm an OG forever. All right, let's talk bench now. My real peoples, my benchers. How are we
Okay.
getting our pro cards?
All right. So benchers, it's very similar to the regular pro card. It's benchers are top two in your weight class at nationals, and then the wild card spots. Um, again for the raw bench, it's top two in the weight class for the women, four wild card spots. Men top two in the weight class, top two wild card spots. And then also there's going to be a pro am for the bench as well. So somebody at the Arnold that's not a pro can earn their pro bench card at the Arnold as well, and that's for raw and equipped.
Okay, and I know to our listeners, this is a lot. You might be furiously scribbling things down. We will release all of this very soon after we share this podcast, so you'll have a dedicated place on the website to see how you qualify. Right, Josh? That's the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan. And I guess the important distinction to remember, and we're going to get to the Masters series and Pro Card here in a second, but to compete in the pro bench or the pro division, you have to have a pro card to enter those pro meets.
Yep.
I think that's the key there.
Super important. So speaking of Masters, let's go ahead and dive into our Masters Series pros.
Okay. So the Masters series it runs alongside the Pro Series, the same events, the UBU events, the Arnold Sports Festival, etc. However, the difference is the Masters compete in the series to earn their pro card. So the pro card and pro bench card, you have to have that first in order to compete in the series. The Masters is actually opposite in a way, in that you compete through the series to earn your pro card. So for a Masters lifter to earn their pro card, basically how it works is there will be a total of 13 female raw masters and 13 male raw masters that earn their pro card each year. And you earn that by accumulating points through the series. And we're going to explain the series here in a minute, but just arbitrarily, we're going to say if you get the most points. So for the Masters ones, we'll talk female masters right now. So for female Masters ones, at the end of the series, the top four point earners will move on to the Masters Series finals at the Arnold. So there's only going to be four Raw Masters female M1s that earn their pro card. Same thing with M2, there's going to be four. M3s, we're only taking the top three. And then M4s, there's only going to be the top two in the series. So when you're going through the series, you're only competing against M1s are competing only against M1s by dots. M2s, they're only competing against M2s by dots. So those are separate within the Masters division.
I think that's great. We're keeping the Masters division pro cards highly select. So
highly select.
It is not just as simple as showing up and winning a weight class, which happens in the Masters division, as it does in others. But it's a very stringent criteria to qualify for one of these pro cards, and I think a lot of our Masters lifters will be inspired by that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and as it is, I mean, literally, if anybody has a pro card of any caliber, like, they're a big deal. And I think that's kind of the allure of this is, like, not everybody gets one, and not everybody's going to get one. I'm never going to have one, right? Like, I'm going to be hanging out with my friends that have one.
Yeah, and my excitement and surprise is genuine because I didn't know any of this. I'm finding out as our listeners are as well. And I just want to share my thoughts. Like, this is great stuff. It should be select and elite, right? I think one of the concerns I had when I found out about this was like, all right, how many people are going to get one of these? Is it really going to be special? And I'm happy to see that it is special and it's going to be super select and it's going to mean something, which is very important. Let's talk about point structure.
Okay.
Can you explain a little bit about how one earns points? And I know that'll also give us a chance to talk about the events schedule that we have for the whole Pro Series.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially how the series works is we have a number of Pro Series meets that are considered pro meets that you can do as part of the series. You can choose to do one of those, two of those, five of them. It doesn't matter. You can do all of them if you want, but you only count your best score from there. And you add that together with your best score from nationals. So essentially you're using two meets to tally your series total. And how you earn those points is, let's use we'll stick to the female Masters one, Raw Masters ones, for example. If they enter the Virginia Pro, which is happening right now, basically, the series, so the Masters ones are only competing for series points against other Masters ones. Masters two are only competing against Masters two. So how it's working is, if you're a female Masters one, you're ranked against all of the other female Masters ones at that meet by dots. And if you have the highest dot score, you get 50 points. If you have the second highest dot score, you get 45. Third highest, 40, and on down the line. There's points for top 20. So, if you get 20th overall by dots formula in your age division, that gets you 1 point. So you carry that then with you to nationals, where that will be the second part. Or if you get 20th place and you're like, 20th isn't going to get me to the finals, I got to do another Pro Series meet, you can go do another one, and if you place better, then that's the score you use.
Okay. I can't wait to stare at this on the computer screen and just like think about it, because like hearing it is one thing, but like this is complex, and I think it just shows the amount of effort that we put into making sure what we're doing is accurate and fair and is a structured plan. The worst thing we could have done is just say, we're going to have a committee assign pro cards based on how we feel. Like, no, we have this systematic approach to giving these pro cards to the right people who are going to be the strongest powerlifters in the world by every measure of the definition, right?
Yep. And I think too, looking at it all written down, and I've been staring at it and working at it and discussing with a lot of people, like it all makes sense in my head, but as I'm saying it out loud, and I can see the like scratching your head, like, what does that mean?
Well,
I understand.
I'm not a numbers guy. I'm like, I'm in la la land most of the time in my head. Like I'm just envisioning at the Arnold with, the lights, the sound, the excitement, like what is the first pro card winner at the Raw Challenge? What's their reaction going to be? I think it's going to be pretty special, and I think that's what we're after and what it makes us unique in doing this pro series. It's a whole nother level and measure of your success in the sport, and it's going to be something people fight over, which I'm excited to see. I like seeing battles, and I can't wait to see these strong people throw down on the platform. So we've covered this really well. One thing that I'm excited about is the money we're giving away. We've given away a lot of money in the past at the Arnold, but we've never given away money at the scale we're going to be giving it away at the Pro Series. I know one thing I've been excited to hear about, and I know others, is how are we spreading out this 200K plus prize purse? There's concerns that we're only going to get $100. Like, is it really going to be that special? I know that you have some numbers in front of you, so let's go ahead and share with everyone how we're spreading out that 200K number, and tell us what that number is and how exactly it's being allocated to the different Pro Series events.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with the schedule just to kind of make it kind of fit in line here. But so basically, in the 2022 Pro Series, there are 8 events, and it starts with the Virginia Pro on December 4th of 2021. And it ends with the Arnold Sports Festival in 2023. So we kind of started at a weird point in the year with the series, so it's actually a little bit extended. Yeah. Normally, going forward, it'll most likely be Arnold through Arnold. The Arnold will be the beginning and the end, and then the beginning and the end the following year. So prize money payout wise, there are 3 UBU events, which are formerly the Europa events, and we have allocated $10,000 for each of those, and that'll be allocated for full power and bench only. The Virginia Pro, I believe, is giving out somewhere right around 25,000.
Awesome.
Our nationals, we have allocated 84,000 in prize money for nationals.
Wow. And that is, I believe, the most we've given away in a single meet ever.
Not sure about that, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then the Arnold finals, we have allocated 12,000 for our Masters series finalists. So our Masters lifters, and then the Pro Series championships, there's 82,000 up for grabs for the lifters that qualify for the Pro Series finals.
Wow. I'm just going to do my math here. That's $94,000. And I couldn't do that in my head, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. $94,000 at the Arnold. That's awesome.
Yep.
Come on, be excited, Josh. That's so much money, and we're just like, we're giving it to the lifters. We are saying, you've earned this. This is yours. You're a pro, and USA Powerlifting is the place you come to win big money against serious competition.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so that covers our Pro Series information. We also have another announcement we just shared today on November 30th on social media about our international membership. And Josh, I know you're privy to exactly what's going on. What's going on with the international membership?
Yeah, so it's the international membership, but it's also inviting international lifters to our Pro Series. And how that's going to work is essentially international lifters can come compete in like the Arnold Raw Challenge, for example, or another one of our events to post a total. And basically, we would lump all of the international lifters into a separate category, essentially. So they'd kind of be in their own. Basically, they'd be competing against themselves. So, like, if somebody did the, Georgia State meet as a guest lifter or lifted somewhere else, and it got a total, all of those dot scores will be ranked against each other, and that's what they would take to our nationals. So for them to compete in the series and potentially get to the Arnold finals, international lifters are eligible, but they have to do one meet and then go into our nationals, and they would compete in a separate division essentially at nationals. So we would have, let's just as an example, we would have the men's Raw Open division, and then we would have the men's Raw Pro division. So our US lifters would lift in the open division, and everybody, our US lifters and international lifters, would lift in the pro division, and they would be scored against each other. And if an international lifter earns top 5 points in the series, they go to the finals.
Wow. That's awesome. It's going to give all these people who are vying to be a part of what we're doing in some way an ability to come over here and maybe in the future over there to compete in the new top level of powerlifting. I noticed in the release, we already have 43 nations represented in our international membership. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so we already have a lot of international lifters that are members, and that comes kind of prior to this announcement.
Yeah.
That we're inviting international lifters in. So, yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where that goes.
Excellent. Yeah, demand is there, and we're doing our best to address it. And to that end, we have the international committee that's being formed, and I still have an opportunity to submit your resume if you want to be part of that planning committee that's going to figure out exactly what we do to help address the international demand. Right, Josh?
Yep, and I encourage everybody to apply for that. That really wants to have input, because we as an executive board and our committee chairs and everything, we are volunteers as well. So like this isn't our day job. So the more people we can get involved, the more ideas we can get and roundtable, the better we're all going to be. So if you have any interest in getting involved in shaping our international affiliations and series things, please apply for that.
So one other exciting piece of news is our rankings. We're propping up Pro, that's pro.usapowerlifting.com, and it's going to be a dedicated website where you can go and view the current rankings for the Pro Series. Josh, what information do you have for us about pro.usapowerlifting.com?
Yeah, basically it's going to be a leaderboard. So when you're looking at it, you can kind of see how many points different lifters have accumulated. So you can kind of figure out where you're standing, like if you do a meet, and what you need do at nationals in order to make it to the finals and things like that. And it's just a way to kind of reward and put a spotlight on those lifters that are competing in the series at a high level and earning those points. Because even earning the points in the Pro Series meets, like, that's very hard to do. I mean, because you only get points for top 20 in the meet, right? So, you know, it's very hard to earn those points, and we want to really spotlight those lifters that are putting in the work and earning those points.
Awesome. All right, Josh, thanks for joining us today on this third episode of the USA Powerlifting Podcast. Remember, everyone, you can go to pro.usapowerlifting.com to see the rankings. And in short, we will share more information about the point system, the payouts, and everything we talked about on today's episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.